Let's see if any open invoices are there for the company. Mm. And, and, and payment type, payment status is unpaid. Okay. No one's status is approved. Great. So they are. No worries. We still have few invoices in this new tenant, which we can use for our practice. So let's open this invoice. So what we'll do today, we'll record the customer payment, we'll write off some amount, we'll put some amount on account, we'll create deposits also. Okay. And if time permits, we'll start the customer contract. Otherwise, we'll do it tomorrow. So there are two ways to record the customer payment. One is from the related action of the invoice, and the second one is from the task by typing in record customer payment in the search bar. So let's see if this gentleman has the access. He doesn't have, as it's a new tenant. Let's assign the role to him first. Open new tab. He's a payroll guy now. That's why. But this is really bad. Now again, I have to do everything from scratch. Systems user base. I think all the user base are there. For recording, they may have put something. Da, 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 da.
Someone has changed his role, or it is
Environment. Actually, this is a different environment tenant. So whatever security we had given or configurations we had given, that's gone now.
why? Because it was a proxy. No, he was actually earlier.
No, no, no. See,
Uh-huh.
this is a different company tenant. Suppose earlier we were using IBM, for example.
Okay, okay.
Now they have given Deloitte tenant like that.
Mhm.
So obviously, it's a different tenant, different company. So everything has gone. AR specialist collection manager. Okay, let's give him that this role. But for GMS uses, someone should be having that role. Let's see who has that. Uh, mm. If you have any friend in Dubai, you can ask him or her to do shopping for you. So there is a shopping festival has begun for 3 days till 29th, and on all the brands they are giving like 70% discount.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So on the Gucci, Prada, Chanel, Yes, awesome. Okay, so one is through this option, customer payment record. So what is the amount? Total invoice amount is this. It's unpaid, right? So for now, I'll just say 100, and later on the change the status of this invoice will say partially paid. Okay, so let's say we have received $100 only for this invoice, and then we'll take the same invoice again to say full payment. So it's a record. Okay, and I'll just say $100 here. Payment reference is like a check number. You can mention the check number, slip number, and memo testing $100. Okay, this we'll see next example. Again, we'll do $100 deposit. Okay, so it's showing this invoice. Save and apply payment. Okay, so payment amount is $100 here. I hit submit. It's done. Now, if you look at the payment group, this is successfully completed. If you click on this, okay, so customer transaction. And if you look at the accounting of this one, payment, obviously we have to see the cash for the payment, so there will be an accounting for it. So undeposited receipts to AR trade, $100. Now let's go back. Remittance advice, okay. Okay. So earlier it was 2496875. Now it is 2496775. Payment status, earlier it was unpaid. Now it has changed to partially paid. That's again to a $100. This time we'll create a deposit also. Deposit means simple, it's simple. So when you get the check from the client, obviously, first of all, you record the entry of that check. That this is the check number against this invoice I have received, correct? And then once you do the entry, you go to bank and then you deposit the check. So it's the same thing. Record customer payment and create deposit. So I'll just show you the task also, and then we'll do it from the invoice related action. So you will say record customer payment. So again, you can do it either from this task or create customer deposit, and we can do deposit from here. But typically I've seen, and even like our configurations also, I have seen using this related action button only. So we'll again do a record. Okay, this time we will say create deposit. Now, in which bank account we have received the customer payment? So we'll say Bank of America checking. Deposit reference, when you deposit the check, remember all of us, we attach it with the receipt, white receipt kind of paper slip, that this is our check number and all those things. So deposit reference. So slip number, something like this. Again, we are saying that we receive only $100 right now. Okay, payment reference, check. This.
So this is basically in case of O2C guys who are into cash, like receipting, they can do this method. Like once they have the payments in bank, they can just go and apply it to the invoices.
Yes. So when the auto team or the treasury team
Mhm.
receive the payment, this is more of treasury work. Okay. When they receive the payment, they apply it to the invoices, or it can be a mix of both. You can ask the O2C team to do it for their invoices, that you
Mhm.
handle your own job. But for supplier invoices, it's mostly done by the R2R team.
AP, why not AP team? Supply invoices are in like
No, no.
handled by.
Payment process is a when it comes to receiving the payment, anyone can do it. But when it comes to processing the payment from your pocket to someone else's pocket, it
Mhm.
requires a review. Okay, in the settlement run, BP will talk about it. We'll see that we can have a lot of BP steps also there. That okay, how much payment you are processing from our bank, to whom you are processing. Okay, so companies put a lot of criteria when you transfer the amount from your bank account to other bank account. So that's
Mhm.
why. So you would always see that in the customer side, in the BPs, you would hardly have few steps. Okay, in the invoice, you will have maximum 4 or 5 maximum. But if it goes to expense BP, you will see that in expense report or in supplier invoice, even right, there will be 20 steps also
Yeah,
because
there
it's
is, because of the review point, but R2R doesn't apply the payment. No, the payment is getting released by AP guys only.
no, it can be done by both R2R, also more of like R2R and treasury team or if not BP, sorry, it's what you call it, the procurement payables team also. But in my recent project, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that only treasury team is doing this. My previous
Okay.
project also, they had given access to only one guy from the payables team, but majorly it was done by the treasury team only,
Okay.
because treasury takes care of all the ingoing and outgoing cash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's again say $100, save and apply payment. So again, say $100. So it's done.
Wait. You did it. Okay. Listen, I just wanted to check in the
Mm-hmm.
application itself directly there is this amount, how much of that check or how much of that amount wire transfer is getting utilized here, and rest of the it is directly applied to the invoice. It is not directly applied to the client. It is directly applied to the invoice,
Ah,
right?
correct. We don't apply to the client balance. We
Okay, so
apply to invoice amount.
that's why we had those write off amounts and discount and all.
Correct. Against which invoice we are writing on the amount. Yes.
Okay,
Now
okay.
that are our coming examples. How to write of amount, how to put an amount on account and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So again, if you go to the payment application, let's go back to our invoice. Hmm. It's partially paid again. 2496. So $200 have been debited. Now let's see a full example of like fully paid invoice. So let's copy this invoice now. Amount that we have received. Finally, we have received the full amount. Okay. Now, if you see this invoice, okay, say paid and amount due is 0. Now we'll see a couple of examples of write-off on account. And let me create a payment term which will show us some discount also. So we'll get to see that discount amount as well. Okay, so let's go to this maintain payment terms. Let's see if someone has created one. So yeah, this one is good. 2% 10 net 30. So 2% discount. Okay, good. So let's see if we can copy this invoice. Hmm. and we'll say 1. 2% is also fine here. Please. Okay, we'll select this payment term. This one. So we can see the discount functionality also. Okay, looks nice. Hmm. Okay, so it's 10,000. Now, let's say I'm recording the customer payment. And I'll say 10,000 only. Actually, I should have calculated that. So see, the system will automatically show the discount amount here. So the exact amount which client is paying is 9,800 because we are giving him $200 discount, right? But suppose he had sent this extra $200. Okay, so what you can do, you can put this 200 to on account that we have received an extra payment from the client. Okay, so both examples we are seeing in one single go, that the discount is also visible based on the payment terms and the payment time and amount to place on account as well, which is $200. So now if I
Okay.
just hit, sorry,
So this one you were saying, if in case of he had paid 10,200, that 200 we could have put in there.
correct. Yes, I'll show you that example again. Okay.
Okay.
For now, I'll just hit submit. Okay, it's done. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just quickly copy this invoice again. And this time I will select a non-discounted payment term. So I'll just copy this. And let's take the same example of 10,000 rupees or dollars. Let's say immediate. Okay. Now I'll just show you what if he has sent a 10,500. So I'll say 10,500. Now the system will tell you that there's an extra $500 remaining amount to apply because the invoice is for 10,000 only, but you got the check for 10,500. So there is a $500 extra. Okay. So what do you want to do? So you can say I'm putting on this one account. So if I submit here, it's done. Okay. Now suppose you have received this extra payment and now you want to refer it back to the client that okay, we are giving back to you because we had received extra from you. So there's a task called create customer refund. Okay, it's in progress right now. Maybe it's the integration is firing from the backend, so we may have to wait for that. One step completed. Any other step? Okay, let's see one more time.
In the
Mhm.
previous case, we had only received 10,000. So 200 was applied as discount, but manually we had put 200 on the top corner, right?
So 10,200 rupees. See, 10,000 was the total invoice amount, but
Yes.
2% was the discount. So 2%
Mhm.
discount means $200, right? So we had put
Mhm.
that amount in discount field.
But why did we put 200 on account then?
I'll tell you. See, invoice amount was 10,000.
10,000.
Okay. Check sent by client 10,000. Okay.
Okay.
Discount amount was $200, right? So ideally, how much
Okay, okay.
we
So
should have
you were
applied?
saying, okay, you were saying already the invoice amount was 10,000, check was also sent for
Yes,
10,000. So we had
yes,
additional 200. Okay, okay, okay.
correct. So
Okay,
again,
sorry.
he has made a $200 extra payment, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, he should have sent the check for this 9,800 because we clearly told him that if you pay within 10 days, we'll give you $200 discount. So,
Yes.
but he did a mistake and he sent the check for $10,000. But anyways, we have received $200 extra, right? So that $200 we have put on the on account. So that's why it nullifies it. Clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Shrini, Preeti, is this clear to you?
Yeah, yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. Now we'll talk about create customer refund. Okay. So anytime, okay, in this create customer refund, as you can see, Workday is retiring the create customer refund task. We recommend that you opt into customer refund optimization feature instead by accessing the maintain feature opt-in report. You must have access to the setup system domain system functionality. Contact your Workday administrator for further help. So they have bringing a new feature and they're deprecating this feature. So that's why you see here do not use here, but you can still use it till September. So no need to worry. Okay. So company is our GMS USA.
This was something.
Yeah, I forgot what's the customer name. Atlas, I believe. One second.
Yes, Atlas.
Atlas only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlas. Thank you, Preeti. Okay, so let's do it again. So the customer payment status is in progress right now. So let's wait for it. So create customer refund is now we'll see some refund scenarios or write-off amount scenarios. So we'll just come here. We'll just copy this invoice. Okay. And say $5,000. Submit. Now with this, 290. Now let's record the customer payment. And so we have seen all this option, right? Edit, hold from payment, write off bad debt. So now we'll write off bad debt. Okay, that the customer has said that I'll not pay a single penny. I'm running away, I'm bankrupt, or whatever it is. Okay, so go to this write off bad debt task. Say default write off reason. What happened? It's a bad debt, currency translation, customer got bankrupt, disrupted amounts. Let's say customer was bankrupt. Okay, so the write off amount is entire 5,000 because as customer has gone bankrupt, they will not pay a single penny. So hit OK here. Okay, so because it's a bad debt process, okay, so somebody has to make sure that yes, definitely it's a bad debt scenario and the customer will not pay. So it has gone to Martin Davis. So let's process Martin Davis to approve it. That's it, is approved. Okay, so this is the invoice. The amount you can see has become 0 here. The amount is 0 because the customer went bankrupt. Okay, so all the activities you can track from here. Staff, a write-off happened on this particular date, and these are the details. Okay, clear with this example also?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Now let's go back to the same. Okay, so fine. Actually, I want to show you a very good thing, which I learned just 2 months back, and it's an interesting advanced level thing. So there was a requirement from our client uh, that reminded me that I have to work on a ticket today. Yes. So we have a requirement from the client that whenever they submit the invoice and the invoice is approved, okay, it's a final approval has been done on that invoice, which technically means that everyone has reviewed that all the details are correct, everything looks fine, and so on. No one should be able to make the changes in the invoice. Okay, just like we see options here in this one. Okay. Other options like change customer invoice length and all those things. So when we submit the invoice and that is approved, then no one should be able to make the, because he's Martin Davis. If I go back to with Teresa Serrano, I'll show you. Start proxy. So we tried a lot of ways to do that, but could not achieve it. Because of somehow we started looking into community, reaching out to networks. How to stop that? The first way was disabling domain access to change any customer lines or header details. But what was happening is like it was happening for all of the users and the O2C team in one go. But there were certain exceptions and scenarios where they must have done this or must have to do it for XYZ reason. And because there was a big team in order to see for that client, so that was not happening. That was not possible because it means like we had to rework on all the security groups and everything, and then we again have to reassign them back to different domains and security groups. So that was a big tedious task. So strictly no, big no. Then I found out this way while going through community and then BP also. So there are two things here. Let me go back here, find customer invoice. So company, and here let me say GMS USA. Uh, Customer is Atlas International. Okay, invoice. Date on or after. Let's see yesterday. Hmm. If I look at this invoice, 289. Okay. You can change like edit approved invoice, you can add the PO number, you can change the PO number and all those things. You can add the note. But the requirement was that once an invoice is approved, no one should be able to make any changes at all. No change at all. Not a single change. For that, there's a super cool feature called added customer account option. Added customer account option. Here you have to select the company first. Now this will be applicable on all the company basis, not the customer basis. It gets applied on the company level basis. That for this company, for all of the customer invoices for this company, if they are finally submitted and approved, then not a single change is allowed after that. So whatever change you have to do, you play around until the final approval happens, or you don't ask the final approver to approve the invoice. But once it is finally approved, you will not be able to change the details in the customer invoice. So this is checkbox here.
Yesterday,
Mhm.
yesterday this was the question only what I was asking, but you said this is there that we can still change the invoices. That is what I was saying. Like post once we do the billing, if people
Ah,
can do the changes, then that is a problem, right?
but that is available. But
Uh-huh.
maybe I did not understand. Sorry, I did not understand the question completely or the functionality you were asking for. But this is the functionality I wanted to tell you.
Okay,
I've
so
kept
we
it for
do
today's
have a
session.
so we do have a option of like blocking the editing option for
Yes.
once invoices are approved. So we need to
Once
come
the
here.
invoice is finally printed, okay.
Mhm.
After that, no one should be allowed, okay, or would be allowed to make any changes. As you can see, if you select prevent changes to the invoice after final print run, you can't clear it after you create invoices. So once it's done, it's done. You cannot uncheck it later on. So be very careful about this option. Once an invoice is approved and finally printed, no one would be able to make changes in the customer invoices. Clear?
Yes.
And this changes is a one time, because if we have a client requirement that
Yes, one
if
time. Every
okay,
time you set up a new company or old companies, you have to do this once only.
and
Once you have to
if
click on
we
this checkbox.
wanted to uncheck it, if system won't
No,
be
no, no.
allowed. So,
So
okay.
after this, if I hit OK and I anytime I create, don't want to do this right now because it's a practice and why should we spoil this for everyone?
Yeah.
But once it's checked, you hit OK, and next second you want to come back, you won't be able to do that.
Okay.
So discuss it carefully with your client and the team members that do you want to go with this approach or not. You cannot go and revert the changes. Once it's done, it's done.
I guess in most of the cases, it is actually getting frozen only. They must be having it another option like to see the, I mean, draft version of the invoice before final printing.
Correct. So that's like all part of review and approvals only. That once I
Yes.
submit, the approval will check, okay, everything details are correct or not first. Maybe the AR specialist, then the AR manager, then the regional controller, and so on. It's about
Mhm.
money. So you want to make sure everything is correct there in the invoice.
But in Workday, the thing is that once it is approved, like once the processor is doing the billing and it is directly hitting the account, right? If there is no
Hmm.
approval hierarchy is there.
Correct. Obviously, the sub-ledger accounts, the sub-ledger activity has been done, and it has definitely hit the ledger accounts.
Yes. So okay,
Mhm.
fine. I mean, general cases, once an invoice is printed, like once the final approval is done, it is not allowed to edit it. If you want to reverse, then you have to do that, raise that credit note that you had showed us yesterday.
Correct. Yes. Yes. You're right. You can do entire amount credit adjustment. Okay. And then you create a fresh invoice.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.